Hey guys, very good morning. This is Dr. Suresh. I'm a pronunciation expert. Today we're going to talk about the American English flat T. Have you ever wondered people pronouncing the letter T like the D, as in water? Look at the word water. Usually people say it as water, that's the British English. But some people, they tend to pronounce the word as water, giving the T a D sound. So that particular feature is called the flap T. Water. Okay, so that's what we're going to learn about today. And before we go ahead and learn how to use it, we need to remember about the vowels. We know what are the vowels: A, E, I, O, U, and also the letter Y. So Y is a semi-vowel because the letter Y has got two functions. If a word begins with a Y, it is a consonant, but if a word ends with a Y, it is a vowel. But here, we're only talking about the ending Y, not the beginning. All right? Okay, there are two rules that govern the pronunciation of this particular feature. All right? The first one is, if you find the letter T in between the vowels, the T is pronounced like the D by the Americans. It doesn't happen in the beginning, it happens either in the middle or towards the end. For example, look at that, water. Before and after the vowel, the T, you have the vowel, water. We're going to go look into some of the words like this. Letter, matter. Look at that, there are two T's. You may question, sir, there are two T's. You said T in between the vowels, but it is not so. Yes, it is because if you find the two consonant letters together in any word in the whole of English vocabulary, one of the consonant is always silent. So you silence it completely. And then you know the remaining. So you have the T in between the vowels. You have the T in between the vowels. Similarly, better, batter, bitter, litter. You see that? All the T, one of the T's are silent. And you will find vowels in between the T's of all these words. You understood? Great. So if you find the T in between the vowels, the T is pronounced like the D. And the second rule is that if you find this combination, vowel, T, and then followed by the T, L, then you pronounce it just like the flap T. For example, beetle, little. You don't have exactly just like the first rule. Look at that. Here you have the E, which is a vowel, and then you have the L after the T. So that's the second rule. Only two rules, don't bother about it. Just two rules you have to remember. The rest all going to be pretty much easy for you. So that's the second rule. We've got some of the other words like kettle, words ending with TLE. So you have kettle, you have beetle, battle, and again you remember one of the T's are silent. One of the T's is silent here in each of the words. So beetle and then bottle. I'm sure you would have heard about the bottle, the word. And you might be using like the American flat T. But have you ever questioned yourself, why you pronounce it like that? Some may know, some may not know. But then this video will definitely clarify all your doubts. Okay, right. And we've got some other words with the flap T, like later. You look at these vowels. I will come later. I will do this work later if I want to give you some examples. And then heater, look at this in between the vowels, you got the T. Item, look at that, item. And then Peter, look at the name, Peter. And then you got meeting, 30. Here again, if a word, the letter R is followed by a consonant, then the letter R is silent. So you say 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, the numbers. And again, you got 40, 41, 42, 43, and then 80, 81, the numbers goes on like that. And that's how it is. And some of the sentences and phrases we got here, just to explain it, not only occurs in words alone, also in sentences. Look at that. Got it. Look at that. Don't worry about the gap. It doesn't matter. You have the vowel. Again, you got the vowel. In between, you got the T. So you pronounce it, got it. I got it. So have you got it? Have you got it? That's it. And the second one, lot of. You have the vowel, and the T in between. So a lot of people are interested in learning English. Lot of. And then put it, you have the U and you have the I. In between, you got the T. So you have to put it in the box. You have to put it in the bag. Like that. Some other examples like cut it. You got the vowel, T. Vowel, T. So cut it, beat it, like you're beating something. Hey, you beat it, or you get out of that. Get out. Even if you say get out, you say so. Let me just write down another example. Get out, you say get out, because you have the U and the O. In between, you got the T. So get out. And then let it happen. Here, you got the vowel. In between, you got the T. So it is pretty easy to remember and practice as well. But there is one exception you have to remember very, very carefully. That is, if the particular T is a stressed vowel, then we should not pronounce the T with the flap T. For example, words like pretend. If you see, the T is in between the vowels. You have the E, you have the E. But here you must not pronounce it like pretend. Please don't do so, because it is a stressed syllable. For example, there are two syllables in this word, pretend, but the stress is given here, pretend. So just because you're giving the stress on the second syllable where the letter T is there, then you should not apply the flap T there. That goes with all the words. If you find the stressed syllable with the T, then it is the usual T sound, not the flap T sound. Another example like retaliation. Look at that. Okay, so retaliation, that is another word here. Retaliate and retaliate. 3 syllables. So retaliate, 4 syllables. So here you give the stress here. Just because you're giving the stress here, you must not pronounce the T like the D because it is a stressed syllable. And then another example is pretension. So you have to stress here. Just because it is a stressed syllable, we must not apply the D sound, the flap D sound. I'm sure you understood, but let me just go ahead and give a recap on this. So the word water is pronounced so because it is the American English pronunciation. They pronounce the T like the D, sometimes in the middle or towards the end, but not in the beginning. If any word that are going to begin with the T, like temple, test, tango, it is the usual T. But this particular flap T is only about in the middle or at the end. So we know what are the vowels, A, E, I, O, U, and Y. You have to remember that. There are 2 rules that govern the pronunciation of the flap T. The first rule is if you find the T in between the vowels, then you pronounce the T like the D. So for example, you got words like letter, matter, better, batter, bitter, litter, and then the second rule is this: if the T is in between vowel and the L, like this, vowel, T, L, like the word beetle, little, then you have to apply the D sound, the flap T sound here. Kettle, beetle, battle, cattle, and bottle, another word. And then some other examples like later, heater, item, Peter, meeting, cutting, another example, and 30, 40, 80, and some other examples like some of the sentences and phrases: got it, get it, lot of, put it, cut it, beat it, let it. But there is an exception you have to remember very carefully. If the T is going to be a stressed syllable, if you find the T in the middle or anywhere in a word which is the stressed syllable, then you have to apply the usual T sound, not the flap T sound. For example, pretend, retaliate, and pretension. So if you see, all these T's are in between the vowels, but here we do not apply the flap T sound because the T's are the stressed syllable. I hope you understood this concept of pronouncing the flap T. Alright, and just go ahead and practice a bit and just take conscious effort and then do it regularly for some time, and I'm sure that you will be able to use the flap T appropriately. Thanks for watching this video.